This is the Said No One Ever podcast.
A podcast about things you never knew you wanted to hear about.
I'm Ian Bennett.
And I'm Martin Moore.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Said No One Ever podcast. If you haven't checked out the podcast already, be sure to subscribe for new episodes every Wednesday. If you like the show, and we really hope you do, maybe leave a nice 5-star review, a nice little comment or something like that. If you don't like it, maybe keep it to yourself.
Yeah, they better like it.
Dude, episode 4. We're out of the honeymoon phase.
Hey.
We're grinding. We're popping off episodes.
Hey. No, dude, I'm feeling good. Yeah, episode 4, man. We're just hitting, honestly, they're bangers.
This is episode 4, right?
They're bangers. They're bangers. They're bangers.
Yeah, episode 4.
I just feel like we're hitting everybody with, like, just new content, different stuff. And we're talking about, like, honestly, stuff that people don't talk about. Like, we're keeping it real, though. And that, honestly, for me, that's the best. You know, hashtag real talk, hashtag all that stuff. I love that because I feel like our show is going to be real and people are going to get it. You're not going to have to understand it and be like,
for sure.
Oh, I need to listen to every. No, you know what it's about. And we're keeping it real. Man, how was your weekend, bro? Tell me.
Giannis got hurt.
Dude.
That sucked.
Dude. Oh, my gosh, I know.
The Bucks lost game 4.
Yeah.
The Brewers won. I don't really care for baseball.
Yeah,
but
I'm not a big baseball
I don't know.
guy.
I've just been tripping out on these Bucks wins.
You think they'll get it done?
Yeah, I really think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I like that. Even though Giannis is, I don't know, man.
As long as like Middleton and Holiday and everybody can be on the same page,
Okay, I feel you.
on the same game, and there's not just like one person carrying the whole team. I don't know.
What about Trae Young though? Ice
Dude,
cold.
I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself.
All
But
right.
I don't like the way he carries himself, or how he looks.
Oh my, yeah, the hair. You got to do something with that hair though, right?
I mean, I have stupid looking hair, but whatever.
But no, you do something with it.
Yeah. Anyways, we have one of my favorite people on planet Earth in the studio today. She's a great friend, an intrepid leader, a creator, an entrepreneur, a writer, all kinds of things. My girl, LaShawnda Wilkins, a.k.a. Speak Life Shawnie. What's up, girl?
Yes. I'm loving being here. Thank y'all for inviting me. I'm just excited.
Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are,
Yes.
what you do. Plug yourself.
Sure. So I am LaShawnda. A lot of people call me Shawnie. Speak Life Shawnie. What I do is I highlight upcoming professionals, entrepreneurs, creatives, people that are doing positive things in the community. I am the author of Speak Life magazine, owner and operator. I need y'all to connect with me, period. Bottom line. We're constantly pushing positive content. Like when you think of media sources out here such as news, newspapers, when we look, we can easily have a conversation about the negativity that happens here in Milwaukee. So Speak Life, we're just always pushing positivity, and that's just it. Bottom line.
You're on the right show.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm just glad I got Martin too and you because I know I try to get you for my show, right? But then I don't know if you were dodging me. No, you were busy. I was busy. No. I was busy. You were busy. But then like Martin comes onto the show and now we got our show together and then guess what, Ian? I got Shawnie. I'm like, dude, say what? I've been trying to get her for like a minute.
You know what?
You got fans.
I don't think that.
I know.
I don't remember that correctly. I think I tried to interview you first.
I don't know.
And I kept getting spent. And then you tried to interview me. And you canceled because you had to travel somewhere. And then
I remember that.
And then we're here.
No, but that's the perfect thing. We're all here, but you're smart. Yeah, you got me on that one. Okay. Now I'm bringing it back. I'm like, oh man, okay, she's right.
But no, I understand. I've been watching you work, and I love seeing you work.
Thank you.
Like literally, I'm enjoying this moment just because I love seeing the impact that you make, like on those kids. And
thank you.
Like, dude, your energy is through the roof, and I knew it before I got here.
Yeah, I'm a little crazy. I'm Canadian, so we're a little different.
Okay.
I always forget you're Canadian.
Yeah, everyone always forgets that.
So, do you have a place in Canada?
Yeah.
Where
my
are you
parents.
from? Ontario?
Yeah, I'm from Ontario.
Okay, I thought so.
Hamilton.
Nice.
Hamilton, H-Town's finest.
Okay.
H-Town's finest. Man.
I love it.
Thank
we
you so
talking
much
today?
for
Yeah,
being here.
tell 'em.
So the entire ethos and mantra of this show is to talk about things you never knew you wanted to hear about. And I've always had a fascination with the idea of this conversation of can Gen Z end racism. Ooh. I thought it would be a really interesting approach rather than talking about how we got here with race. We all kind of know the story. Yeah. And so for this show, talk about some positivity and some optimism and where are we going to be in the future? You know, how can we get to that paradisical world where everyone dances around and sings Kumbaya and all that? How can we get there? And can Gen Z really be the first generation in decades, maybe ever, to get us there? And so, I kind of want to talk about who is Gen Z? What makes them different? Are they really in a unique position to bring change in core and structure of our society in a way that we've never seen before? How can we help them succeed? And then, after the conversation, come to our conclusions.
Who is Gen Z?
Can they really be the beginning of ending racism?
Yeah.
And so that's
who is Gen Z? Tell them.
Okay,
tell
so Gen Z,
because you're the fat guy. This
I
guy's got
got
facts.
facts.
Oh
I got my iPad,
dude.
in front of me.
Man, if you guys ever see Martin, man,
dropping facts.
If you need anything facts or Googled or anything, just talk to Martin.
You ever see that website that's let me Google that for you?
Yes.
I love passive aggressively, like when people post comments on Facebook.
I know you.
And they're like, we don't know what COVID vaccine does, and then you go into let me Google that for you. Like, what are the effects of the COVID vaccine? And then it'll say, let me Google that for you. I don't know. I think it's funny. Anyways, Gen Z.
All right.
Are you guys sitting down?
Yeah.
Gen Z is defined as the post-millennial generation, or and this is actually kind of clever, like post-COVID.
Yeah.
They're now being called Zoomers.
No
Get
way.
it? Boomers,
Yeah.
but because they're Zooming and video chatting, they're now called Zoomers. Anyways, it's anyone born after 1996.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're the first social generation to have grown up with access to the internet and portable digital technology from a young age. And so I just squeaked into Gen X. I was born in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys?
Yeah, I'm 89.
You're 89? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're an 89?
What are you?
I'm an 83.
You're 83?
Dang.
So we're all the same.
I'm a baby.
We're all the
You guys
same.
are babies.
So just think about this. This generation of kids, like the space shuttle is like history to them. 9/11 is history to them.
Yeah.
They're like, mom jeans are cool and new. They're spending cold hard cash on mom jeans and like wearing them like they're going out of style. And so they're growing up in, they're going to be the COVID generation. They're going to be the George Floyd generation, much in the way where, we were the 9/11 generation or the Vietnam generation. And so I think all the technology and how they're connected through TikTok and everything is so accessible and viewable in the world in a way that we never kind of grew up on. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation for all of us to have and talk about how much more diverse they are and what kind of change they can bring.
Yeah.
So I guess let's talk about, what makes them different.
I think, can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been yapping, so I'm going to shut up for a little bit.
So I just love this conversation because I look at this particular generation and we know they're totally different than how we grew up. I mean, just the way that they think, the way that they act, the things that they desire is just completely different from when we grew up. But like you just mentioned, all of those things that they've been through, not in a negative way, but just in a true way, this is a generation of trauma, literally.
Oh, 100%.
Like from 9/11 on up, a recession. I mean, they're literally a generation full of trauma. They don't know life without trauma. Right. So how could they even know what the norm was? I think that provides a lot of opportunity, right? Like they have an opportunity to create the norm with them being the future. It's just so many different aspects. I think it's going to take a lot of work, and it's just going to start with the mind, honestly.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what I think it is.
I love that because I think that's huge because I think to Gen Z, the biggest thing for me, which I love is...
And you have your kids are Gen Z.
Yeah, so they're creating though. The thing I like is whatever they want to be, right? And they're honestly identifying whatever they want to be too. And honestly, some people are like, "Oh, that's meant you're born, you're a certain way." And I'm like, I agree with that. But if you feel a certain way, they're bold enough and they're taking that responsibility. Where you know what, I want to be a boy or I want to be a girl or don't call me he or and honestly. It's the little things, but people are like, "Oh, what?" But honestly, I love that. I think they're stepping 100%. Out of the side of the box. They're really going out there because they've been exposed to a lot. So I think people got to understand that first, right? If we're not exposed to all this stuff, maybe you have a generation that's more chill, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of our fault that we have this going on because now kids are probably like, man, this is crazy. So I'm going to identify what I want to be. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I feel like that's why people are getting mad. But that was the outcome of kind of us.
Oh, for sure. We created the world. We manifested the world that they grew up in. They didn't grow up on a blank canvas. Exactly. And so all the access that they have to the internet and everything, all the stuff, we gave them that. Yep. So, so I got a couple interesting stats to kind of go along with this. What makes Gen Z different?
I'm a stat guy.
I know. I like.
I love the numbers. I love the numbers.
So Pew Research Center is showing that post-millennials or Gen Z are on track to be the most diverse, best educated generation yet.
I can see that. Right? I can see that.
And what's really interesting is they're going to be the most racially and ethnically diverse generation. What's really fascinating is only 52% of Gen Zers are white or non-Hispanic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 13% live in rural areas compared to millennials, which was 18% lived in rural areas. Comparison to Gen Xers like me was 23%, and baby boomers were 36%. So there's this migration with each generation to urban areas and metropolitan city areas, and with that comes diversity and exposure to different cultures, different races. You know, I mean, where I grew up, there was 2 black kids, and that was it. It was I was surrounded by white people, and so it's like that's all you know. And so these kids now they have access to just so much more information and other people that you're not born into just this kind of little bubble that you live in, and you don't really.
Well, they can make more decisions now, right? Like they can
Very
actually they can actually research stuff now, right? It's not before my parents said this is bad, but they can actually go in depth and research. And this is what I think I like about Shawnie, about your magazine, right? It's a good magazine, and I feel like you're bringing out real conversation, real people in it. Can you explain all that? Because like when you're interviewing these people, like how do you pick them? How do you find them? Tell me, what's the process?
Oh man. So I have to stay alert first of all.
Okay.
So a lot of people call it social, and if that's what you want to call it, that's fine. But I have to keep an eye out for what's going on, who's doing what. What's the mindset behind it? What's the ultimate outcome of whatever is going on? So contingent upon what our theme is, or maybe we want to bring awareness to something, we look and see who in the city is making an impact.
I love that.
We want to make sure that we're constantly giving opportunities, not just to those newer businesses, but even to the legends to shine, the people that are doing amazing things. We need to know that our city is not just full of negativity. And I'm talking about in the black part.
Yep.
I'm talking about in the black community. Yeah, we hear gunshots every day. Yeah, we see these crazy accidents, people running lights, but there is some positive things happening right here in our city. And if we can realize that we have opportunity to grab and hold each other's hand to grow, oh my God, we could just be so much better than we are
Shawnie,
today.
you touched on it. So then how do we change our culture? Like, how do we change it? But I know it's going to take time. I know it's going to take, but like, how do we really, really make an impact and indent in the culture? Like, what do we got to do?
You know what? To be honest, I believe it just starts with ourselves. We have to realize we are the community that we want to change. Yep. That means that we have to change individually. And you have to realize that everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a position to hold. Just because, I might have been created to make magazines. Yeah. You could just be you could be a teacher, you can be a firefighter, you can be an athlete. You can be a videographer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. Just grab a kid. You know what I'm saying? Or make sure that you're exposing what you do to kids. Make sure that you're just do the best and be the best person that you can be. Yeah. That's how it starts. Yeah. And we got to open up our mindsets to realize that everybody doesn't just want to screw each other over.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, okay, I get it. You can't trust everybody. Yeah. But you got to take a risk. And we need to develop a culture that we can trust each other. Ooh, that's just really it.
If everyone's a suspect to you, it's just not trust people. I love that.
It is tough, though. Yeah. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I like that, though.
Step out the box.
Yeah.
We can do it.
All right. I'm in.
You guys are doing it.
Trying.
We're doing it right here.
You're doing it.
I like that.
So, Gen Z, again, is fascinating to me. And, when Ian brought up the point about, how do we put a dent in this problem? How do we get to that, again, that paradisical serendipity where, everyone is just feeling each other and not at each other's throats and all this stuff. And, I think back to May 25th, 2020. George Floyd, when the world watched in 4K HD live stream resolution, a human being, executed on the street, and you have a generation of kids that are watching not only those things happen, but they're watching, Karens in Central Park, stopping dudes watching their dogs, people going for a run down the street, and so they're witnessing what. Up until I don't know, when did TikTok and Facebook come out and all that stuff? Yeah. Up until a few years ago, that kind of stuff was behind closed doors. We knew it happened, and especially a lot of folks, they lived it. But for a lot of people that maybe live in rural areas or like me, they're finally growing up seeing this stuff every day, and they're nauseated by it. They're disgusted by it. And so how is that going to shape and mold Gen Z and this youth when they finally inevitably grow up and there are teachers and they're in positions of political power? They're hiring people. They're the ones making moves. And as they slowly push out the previous generations that brought a lot of controversy and racism into society and the workplace and education, all that stuff, when they're holding the power and they're holding all the cards, and they're no longer going to have any tolerance for that kind of stuff, is there an opportunity for them to really make a real impact and make a real difference in a way we haven't seen since the 60s or maybe ever in this country?
That's a big question. I don't know.
That was a long question.
Yeah, jeez, man. You're like writing a book or something. Gosh.
I think 2020 speaks for itself, It as a whole, Gen Z, millennials, baby boomers, we're tired.
Yeah.
We're tired of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's the year 2021. So it's just the Gen Z. The thing is, I think they're more dangerous. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
They don't care.
Like seen them marching.
They're ready.
I mean,
they're like the army.
Yeah.
Like,
they get together on TikTok, and if there's something they don't like, that they're out there and they're marching and they're relentless about it. They're not just going out there for a weekend so that they can make some content. Yeah. They're not just posting a black square on their Instagram and then moving on to whatever the next social media fad is. They're out there in the streets doing real work, trying to make real change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
they're serious.
It's like with racism though. Like for me, like I want racism to end, but that's not like I'm gonna go to a smaller picture because we want racism to end, but at the end of the day, we just got to educate because you know how racism is gonna end. I keep telling everyone is when everyone's mixed.
Oh yeah,
that's the only way. Everyone can say whatever, but until everyone's mixed, then you can't, right? Because then that's the only way. Because then you're gonna have I got a mixed kid, I got a mixed kid, so that's the only way.
Yeah.
It's gonna end.
I like that. I mix. I can agree because it's coming together. You know what I mean? Coming together.
Yes.
Secondly, even if it's not necessarily mixed, it's a matter of teaching, like what you just said.
Educate,
racism was taught. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree.
Or you may feel like it was inherited, right? Because since you were a kid, you've been having these types of feelings, but it was actually taught, and it's a generational thing. Mm-hmm. So it's going to take that one person in that white family or in that black family or whatever color family it is, it's going to take that one person to make a change.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whatever change that is, to be able to talk to other people. Like I always say, when it comes to white people, in my opinion, I think that black people marching, of course it's effective because it shows us, it shows our passion and whatnot. Yeah. But I think that to make an impact on white people that don't like you, it's going to take another white person.
Exactly.
Because they don't like you. So it doesn't matter how much you march. And
they need to see other white people need to see someone like me and interacting. And it sounds stupid, and I don't know how other way to phrase it, but like, black people aren't as scary as you think they are, as the news and the TV
just
and your
have a conversation. Because then I'm telling you, you'll have a lot in common. It might be different backgrounds, but then you'll have a lot in common, and you'll be like, oh wow. So for me, it's tough. Like, will Gen Z end racism? Probably not, but I just think we just need to educate, and we just need to hopefully we live long enough where we can, see a world where there is no racism,
Right.
I love the perspective, though, what you're saying, though. I think that they're going to be able to make a huge impact in eliminating
they'll
racism.
put a dent. Yeah, they'll put a dent in it.
Huge,
because if you think about how many generations we have here, think about how many baby boomers, and I'm not saying all baby boomers are racist, but I mean, again, this stuff is all passed down generationally, and it does get better. It may seem like the world's ending, but you look at like the 1960s compared to now, it is significantly better. And so, what happens when these older generations are pushed out of education and out of then they're not CEOs anymore, and then the next generation comes in.
Position of power, right?
And the next generation comes in, and now they hold all the cards politically, and they hold all the cards hiring people. They're no longer going to be like not want to hire someone who just because of the color of their skin, but because on their credentials, because they don't see the world the way a lot of the older generations do. And I'm honestly really hopeful that that's kind of the sort of mantra and mindset and ethos that a lot of these young kids, again, who are flocking to more urban areas, more metropolitan areas for the opportunity, are going to feel and kind of run things.
Yeah.
Or not, and maybe we're just off buck.
Yeah, but I mean...
But I mean, that's what I believe.
Think about. It's something to think about because they are that's a whole nother generation. It's a whole nother generation than the slavery mindset.
Exactly.
You know, so I think we're hopeful
because I mean, think about how we're not that far off from. Think about segregation. That back in the '60s and stuff. That was only God, I'm bad at math. 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, 60 years ago, that's not that long.
Right.
That's not that long, and so. You think about 2020 and where we are, it's not surprising that we're kind of still fighting these same things.
Yeah.
Still, even with all the connectivity that we have and the diversity in our cities and stuff like that, it wasn't that long ago. And this stuff is still only a generation or two away, you know?
And I still believe that we, as millennials or...
I'm a Gen Xer. Barely.
Barely. Yeah, very barely at that. But, like as millennials and Gen X, it's still our responsibility to steer them in the right direction.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like we have to plant those seeds. You know, we have to let them know, hey, y'all should start talking about this. TikTok and all of these sites where you have the opportunity to do stuff and millions of people.
There's golden retrievers out there just blowing up on TikTok and Instagram. So if you're a regular, just a human being, you can make some huge change. So I guess that begs the question, how can we help them succeed? How can we make sure that Gen Z, this next generation that we're all so hopeful for, how can we help them succeed and steer them in the right direction and make sure that they're educated and they're using their positions of power and their social media influence to not just act a fool but actually bring real change and show that the world is a better place and help make it a better place? How can we enable them to not make the same mistakes that I'm sure I've made, we've all made, and our, everyone that came before us made. How can we help them succeed?
Do you see it going in a better direction? Though?
Oh yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying.
Going in a better direction. It's still some crappy stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Or even just the effects of racism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as Black people, like we still like feel some type of way when the cops are just riding past. Like riding past. Like that's two different things.
I can't imagine what I mean. I'll never be able to empathize or sympathize with that. I can understand it's painful to think about my friends and my family who have to deal with that. Where every time you see a cop pull out of the right behind you, you're just like, well,
your heart really starts racing.
Am I going to be on
like
Facebook?
It starts
I can't
racing.
imagine.
Yeah,
and it's
we'd be like, oh my god,
it's weird. And you know what's kind of sad though, because I was riding around and my daughter's in the car, and she said, "I hate cops" out of nowhere, and I'm like, whoa, like where are you getting that from, right? Because I've never said that. I never said that. She's seen stuff on TV, obviously, and it's kind of crazy because it hit me because I was just driving. We saw a cop, and I don't know if I was going a little fast or a little whatever, but she's like, she just came out of her way. Oh, Dad, there's a cop. I hate cops. I was like, wow. So trying to talk to her and again educate her and just be like, not all cops are bad. It's the same thing. Just like if you have a bad soccer coach, if you have a good soccer coach, it's stuff like that where you got to kind of make sure they're not falling into like the stereotypes, because I want them to make their own decisions too, right? If they feel some type of way, then that's cool with them too. But I just want to make sure that they're not all bad. You might need a cop to save your life one day. You just never know, right? Yeah. So again, opening that communication, having that direction, we need to make sure we're at the end of the day we're all human beings, right? Mm-hmm. That's my whole problem with I think racism. Mm-hmm. It's not white, black, yellow, Mexican, Spanish, whatever. We're all human beings, right? You might be a different shade, but you do the same stuff as me, or I can do stuff better than you. You can do stuff better than me and something. So that's where I don't understand.
It's frustrating.
The whole thing, it just drives me insane, right? It just I'll never get, I don't know. I
feel sorry for people that are afraid of other people because they're missing out on so much joy, so many friendships and companionships that they otherwise could have had if they just took a step back.
Yeah, but that's on them though. Right?
Yeah, I know.
That's them. Yeah.
It's just dumb. And again, is a white kid who grew up in the middle, not the middle of nowhere, actually, but I mean, who I didn't hang out or talk to anyone who was black or anything other than a white person probably till I was 18 and got kicked out of my parents' house. Yeah. And so it's not a hard thing to do. Like, just because you grew up somewhere and there wasn't any diversity doesn't mean it can't be done. And, you know, you have to be afraid or whatever it is people think.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so much frustrating is because there's so many lovely people in my life that are different than me. I would hate, could you imagine living in a world where everyone looked like you, thought like you, talked like you?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I went to Brown Deer. So I went
Oh, you went to Brown Deer?
I went to Brown Deer from K-5 through graduation. So when I started Brown Deer, there was like 0 to 2 black people to a class.
Wow.
But by the time I graduated, it was only like 10 white people to a
Yeah.
class.
Oh, wow.
It became so diverse, right? Like, so that's how, like, that's how I can say I got that front row action of, you were taught that, because when we were 7, you didn't think that way. We kicked it and we was all good. But now you're 17 and you don't like black people.
Right.
Since when, sir?
right.
So, Shawnie, how did you get, like, what was there like a moment that happened that you were just like, you know what, I need to start spreading positivity?
Oh, yeah.
Like, did something happen? Did you have like a life or something? Like, because it's to see your passion, and especially on Instagram, you got to check this girl on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Like, I see it pouring out, so then I'm always thinking, I'm like, man, something must have happened. There's something happened, right? Yeah. So I need to know the backstory a little bit. You need
to know the backstory.
Just a little bit. Just give me a little bit.
Well, the 4th of July, 2014, I was actually robbed and shot. And it was by some young people. Like, it seemed like the guys were probably, one might be 16, 17, and then maybe 19. Okay. And it was like 10:30 at night, 4th of July, 2014. And where I lived, like, there's a creek and like a little area to sit across the street from my house and whatnot. And we were there just looking at fireworks, and these 3 guys came across the bridge, and one particular guy came like all in our personal space, and we like, dude, what are you looking at? And he like, oh, trying to see if y'all good. Oh yeah, y'all good. I don't know y'all, but y'all good. So he turned around, and by the time he turned around, we could see the silver revolver on his hip. He walks back over to the other 2 guys, and they stay right there for a second. It looked like they were about to head off, and then one of them turned around like, hey, who got some money? Who got some money? Who got some money? Where was that? You know what I mean? And we're like, we don't have anything. Yeah. And he's like, what? Strip, take everything out your pockets. I'm finna search you, private parts and all. If I find something on you, I'm killing you on spot. Wow. I'm like, what? So we take everything out of our pockets, you know, he come search, you know, just like he said. And they ended up taking our cell phones and taking my keys. And all we had was debit card, cell phone keys. Like, we didn't have any cash. So they took that. They were probably like 25 feet away. And they turned around and he's like, where's the car? And I'm like, hey, it's right there on the corner. Like, you're going to see it. It's on the corner. He's like, no, somebody coming with us. So they're walking towards my little sister. And I'm like, no, dude. Like, no. He like, what? They had 4 guns pointed at me. Wow. I'm like, dude. First thing in my head is my son. He wasn't with me. Yeah. But first thing in my head is my son. Second thing is, Lord, please let us make it out this situation. And, you know, then he was like, what? Man, shooter. So guy ended up shooting me with a baby rifle, went through my leg through and through, didn't hit any bone, didn't hit any vessels. So it was a real spiritual moment for me, honestly, more than anything. And I just thank God for what he had did. And I had to ask him, Lord, what can I do for you? And he led me to this. Yeah. You
what
know?
A story, like, girl. Yeah. Shawnie, you are superhero, girl. Let's go.
She is.
God.
Oh, my gosh.
Man.
I remember the first time you told me that story, and I was just...
I've never heard that story.
I was in awe.
I think someone was telling me about it, but I never heard it like that. Yeah. She's like Oprah and 50.
Yeah.
She's like the... Like,
yes.
Gosh.
Yes.
Man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Shawnie, what are you most hopeful for in, you know, all the years that hopefully, you know, you're blessed to be alive? What are you most hopeful for to see and contribute to and make your dent and your contribution in making your block, your city, this state, this country, and the world a better place? What are you most excited about?
You know, what I'm excited about is getting to a place where I can develop programs for like single mothers and people in the Black community to educate about finances, educate about savings, you know, about credit, about
you're hitting it.
Getting multiple streams of income, you know, learning how to get out of that. If it's not one thing, it's another cycle. Like, let's break that, man. Let's break these generational curses. Let's break poverty. You don't have to work a job that you hate, man. Like find something that you like. And if it doesn't make a lot of money, then find something else that you can do alongside with that. But stay happy, man.
Yes.
Stay happy. Can't nobody, I promise you, there's not a company that can pay me to stress.
Right.
You can't pay me to do it. You cannot do it.
Ooh,
that's why I quit working on cars.
Can't pay me.
There's not a company.
I bounced. I was like, I'm done.
a company you can pay me to stress. Oh, I like that.
You can't pay me to stress.
love
Like
that.
if I'm gonna work for you or
that.
work with you,
love
like
that.
it has to be something that I want to do. If I don't want to do, if I don't like doing it, if I feel like I'm wasting my time, I'm not gonna be. You ain't gonna catch
We've
me.
been taken advantage of.
Dude, I love that.
See the energy she brings?
That's good knowledge. And she's hitting me with some like wisdom too. I love that. I'm gonna be starting
getting
using
taught-
all that stuff.
Taught on
People
the
are gonna be
Said No One Ever
People are gonna
podcast.
be like, "Where'd you get that from?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, I got you." They're just
Episode
like,
4.
God.
Speak Life Shawnie.
man. Yeah, we gotta get that magazine. Where can we get all this stuff? Can they get this magazine?
Oh yeah. These magazines. Well, honestly, you can try to find them. That's our problem right now. I would love for y'all to become a part. Our problem right now is that we don't have enough magazines. As soon as we put them out there, they snatch these things up.
good
But you can
problem to
find them
have.
completely free inside of Pick and Saves, Metro Markets, Piggly Wiggly, Fast and Friendly, Food Town, Botanas. We got a lot of small businesses that have them in there. I mean, just open your eyes.
Yeah.
You will see them.
That's cool.
But you got to catch them fast.
I like this photo right here by it's a photographer named
Oh.
Martin Moore.
Yeah.
You did that, Martin?
That's nice. A shot on my iPhone.
Yo, that's
Thank you so much for putting me in
fresh.
there.
Oh yeah, I had to do that. Yo, I wanted to know, can I bless you guys with a spoken word?
Please,
Oh
please,
my-
please, please
oh
do.
my
Please do.
gosh,
I
please,
can.
please.
Okay, now as a disclaimer, I am not a spoken word artist, but this is a piece that I feel God gave to me. It was August 28th, 2015, and it's called I Speak Life. So I just want to do that for you.
Please.
All right. I speak life to the dead and the dead minds of successful dreams. I speak life to the dead, and when I say dead, I mean the death that still breathes. I speak life to the heart and the heart of those that have been broken. I speak life to the heart that is healed through the words that are spoken. I speak life to the lost, for the lost will be found. I speak life to the pain, for the pain will be gain. I speak life to the hate, for the hate will turn to love. I speak life. I speak life to you and death to the attack of everything that comes your way to try to hold you back. I speak life to you and death to the energy that attempts to enter your spirit to try to bring you down. I speak life to you and death to the psychological trick that came to invade your mind, your mental, your thoughts. I speak life. I speak life to the dream. I speak life to the UNITY, the king, children, and the queen. I speak life to the dream. I speak life to the UNITY, the king, children, and the queen. I speak life to the dream. I speak life to the greatness, maximization, and substancing of you and me. I speak life to the dream. I speak life to the red. I speak life to the black. I speak life to the green. I speak life to the dream. I speak life to the dream. I speak life.
Dude, I got goosebumps. Dude, I got goosebumps. That's fire. That, oh my gosh.
Dude, you're an asset.
Dude.
You are an asset.
Dude,
You are an asset
Dude,
to...
she is like, oh my gosh, superhero. AKA Oprah /50. Oh my God. And she can speak and Common. Yo, she's like
Right.
Oprah, 50, and Common in one. Gosh. Oh my gosh, she blew me away. Not lying.
on.
You know me.
This is why I love you.
It takes a lot to blow me away.
Okay.
She's the truth.
She really is. And, as someone who's, I try to participate in the better of this city and do my small little part. And I remember when I met you, just your energy, your vibe, the spirit that you brought to just around me. I could just feel your positive energy. I'm so glad to know you and to be able to have you on the show with me and Ian. Hear your thoughts, just feed off your energy. God, I just love it.
Yes.
I'm so glad.
Thank you so much.
You were able
bro.
to hop on this
Thank
episode
y'all.
with us.
Thank y'all for having me. I love being here. So make sure y'all invite me back.
Oh, for
We will,
sure.
we will.
Don't forget about me, Ian. You know you.
No, you might forget about me after the stuff I heard. You might
forgot about you.
All right. Thank you, Shawnie.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Catch us on our social at Said No One Pod.
See you next time.
The next topic you never knew you wanted to hear about.
And that's being an artist. That's what's hard about being an artist, getting out of my own way sometimes so that I can, number one, appease a client or get something turned around, but then to not get stuck on things and not finish things.
Ooh.
So,
dang, that's good.
Is you guys are athletes, or former athletes, or whatever you want to call it.
Man, I'm an athlete. He's still an athlete. Don't matter.
How do you feel about just, compared to something like what Justin's doing with his media company? That's a very infinite sort of thing that he can just do. I mean, until you're in a wheelchair on crutches. How do you, as a active athlete, Ian? How do you mentally balance the fact that can be it's a finite. You only have a certain amount of time before you're no longer going to be doing it, and you have to move on to be.
100%.
Because that's your dream.
I'm nervous. Yeah, you're right.
How do you mentally prepare yourself for that?